This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello and a warm welcome to Gurutulyulu Balijepalli Subba Garu. Sir, namaskaram. A hearty welcome. శ్రమ అనుకోకుండా వారికి సమయం అనుకూలిస్తుందా అనుకూలిస్తలేదా అనే అంశాన్ని కూడా పక్కన పెట్టి ప్రజాహితంలో సమాజ హితంలో మనకు తెలిసినటువంటి విషయాన్ని అనుభవంతో క్రోడీకరించుకున్నటువంటి విషయాన్ని అంశాన్ని పాలకులకు తెలియజేస్తూ ప్రజలను చైతన్యపరుస్తూ మన వనరులను ఏ విధంగా మనము కాపాడుకోవాలా లేక కబ్జాలైనటువంటి వనరులను ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మనకు నీటి వనరులు ఇప్పుడు వరదలు వర్షాలు వరదలు ప్రతి సంవత్సరం ఇది 4వ సంవత్సరం ఇంకా మనము ఆ నేర్చుకోకపోతే ఎలా ఎన్నో ఇబ్బందులు పడి తెచ్చుకున్నటువంటి తెలంగాణ ఎన్నో ప్రాణాలు కోల్పోయి బలిదానాలు ఇచ్చి తెచ్చుకున్నటువంటి తెలంగాణలో నేటికి మౌలిక సదుపాయాల విషయంలో కూడా మనము ఇంకా ముందుకు పోవడం లేదు అంటే అది ఎక్కడ తప్పిదం జరుగుతుంది అనే అంశాన్ని మేము చూపించే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. పాలకులను కాకపోతే ఎవరిని ప్రశ్నిస్తాం? ప్రజలు పన్నులు కట్టే పౌరులను చైతన్యవంతులను చేయకపోతే ఇంకెవరిని చేస్తాం? అందుగురించే డిఆర్టిఎస్పిఆర్ ఛానల్స్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా అంశానికి చట్టం రాజ్యాంగం ఆధారం, అదేవిధంగా వ్యక్తిగతంగా వైరాలు లేవు, పార్టీలు సంఘాల పట్ల శత్రుత్వాలు లేనే లేవు. వీఆర్ వెరీ క్లియర్ ఆన్ బిహాఫ్ ఆఫ్ డిఆర్టిఎస్పిఆర్ ఛానల్స్ that issue is highlighted as per rule of law, constitution, invoking evidential act, with no enmity against individuals nor animosity against parties or organizations. That is the tagline of DRTSPR channels. Fourth year in succession, we are facing rains, floods, still not able to rectify. How long? After so many sacrifices, we could attain Telangana statehood. And the same condition prevails across India. That is why we say right from Delhi to Gully. But we have to win at home to conquer the world. ఇంత గెలిచి రచ్చ గెలవాలి కదా. అందు గురించి ఫస్ట్ వీఆర్ ట్రయింగ్ టు షో తెలంగాణ అండ్ దెన్ సదర్న్ ఇండియా అండ్ దెన్ ది ఎంటైర్ ఇండియా. We have no bias, ill will. But is it not our duty as per Article 51A, concerned citizens, to understand and to act as a responsible citizen? That responsible citizenry and Article 19, the right to expression, freedom of expression. This is what we try to do on DRTSPR Charles with wonderful guests like Subba Garu and my guru Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu, and so many wonderful guests cutting across borders who have been visiting DRTSPR channels to share their experiences with all the evidences. Again, I salute them. If not, whom should we sensitize? If not, whom should we make responsible? Is it not the rulers of the day? Because we are a representative democracy, people participatory constitutional democracy. Should we not aim at the rulers and then the opposition parties and all the political parties who are there? We want their wisdom personified, their promises. The administration should be transparent and accountable. And in doing so, should we not sensitize the citizens to whom this constitution has been submitted? Every citizen is a constitutional authority and resources belong to everyone. Subbarao uses the word commons. Commons means belongs to everyone. When you buy a flat, they say this is a common area. So that common area is nothing but our water, air, minerals. They all belong to every citizen. In the form of lakes, rivers, oceans, you name everything. That is the reason why we are trying to sensitize, and in doing so, they take so much of pain. Wonderful guests. You think it is that easy to come up with one show with all such credentials? It takes more than 24 hours. At this age, they leave their family apart, their profession apart, They want to come and sensitize both government as well as the citizens to mitigate and to see that prevention is better than cure. At least next time it doesn't happen, but it keeps on happening. In the same pursuit, there is a video which is being shared that I'll play, and then I'll go to our guest Subba garu. If not now, it will be never. We have to restore our lakes, protect our lakes, our water bodies, which not only mitigate flood, which not only be a fresh source of water, but they will regulate the temperatures, the climate crisis which is happening, and they absorb lot of carbon dioxide from the air, which we emit in the form of transport and various other means. Multifold functions they perform, these water bodies, with that biodiversity, rich biodiversity, with the greens around, and in villages also. నమస్తే కేసీఆర్ గారు, కేటీఆర్ గారు, మీరు పురపాలక శాఖ మంత్రులు, రెవెన్యూ అండ్ ముఖ్యమంత్రులు. ఊర్లో ఉన్న గుట్టలు కొండలు అన్ని కరిగిపోయి వ్యవసాయానికి ఉన్న భూములు కూడా రియల్ ఎస్టేట్స్ అయితే ఆహారమే కాదు, రేపు పొద్దున నీటి నిల్వలు ఉండవు, కాలుష్యం విపరీతంగా పెరుగుతుంది కదా. దాని గురించే కదా విపరీతమైనటువంటి వేడి లేకుండా అకాల వర్షాలు లేకుండా విపరీతమైనటువంటి వర్షాలు. దీనికి ఎవరు బాధ్యులు? మహానుభావ, మీరే సెలవు ఇవ్వండి శాస్త్రీయంగా. దిస్ వీడియో ఇస్ ఇన్ వైడ్.
అంటే కడెం ప్రాజెక్ట్ గురించి అక్కడ ఉన్న పరిస్థితి గురించి నాకు ప్రత్యక్షంగా అవగాహన లేదు. కడెం ప్రాజెక్ట్ గురించి నాకు అక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందో నాకు తెలియదు. లేలే మేము ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి రాలే. మరి పీకనీకి వచ్చిరా? ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి రాకపోతే మరి పీకనీకి వచ్చిరా? ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి రాకపోతే మాట్లాడతామని వచ్చిందా లేకపోతే మన గోళీలు ఆడతామని వచ్చిందా? ముచ్చట ఏంటంటే ఏం తెలియదు, బట్టి డంబాసారం అడ్డగోలు మాటలు తప్ప విషయం తెలియదు. ఏ నది ఎక్కడుందో, దాని కథ ఏందో, ఏ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎక్కడుందో.
See, this is there in the public domain. How citizens, whether it is Hyderabad, Warangal, every part of Telangana is being inundated, flooded, no roads, potholes, very difficult for people to go out. That is why even Hyderabad education institutions, they have declared holidays in trying to save the precious lives. But why? Roads are inundated, no storm water drains, no proper capacity flowing storm water drains, sewerage overflowing, lakes, because they have encroached lakes and nalas, water comes into onto the roads and it is entering the houses, even residential areas. That is the reason why these two are different. He was addressing a press conference, Mr. KTR, and down Mr. KCR was addressing a meeting, public meeting, wherein he was trying to take opposition to task. So enraged citizens, they have combined both of these to come out with this video. This should be seen that people are literally suffering. It has to be understood in that context.
అంటే కడెం ప్రాజెక్ట్ గురించి అక్కడ ఉన్న పరిస్థితి గురించి నాకు ప్రత్యక్షంగా అవగాహన లేదు. కడెం ప్రాజెక్ట్ గురించి నాకు అక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందో నాకు తెలియదు. లేలే మేము ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి రాలే. మరి పీకనీకి వచ్చిరా? ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి రాకపోతే మరి పీకనీకి వచ్చిరా? ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి రాకపోతే మాట్లాడతామని వచ్చిందా లేకపోతే మన గోళీలు ఆడతామని వచ్చిందా? ముచ్చట ఏంటంటే ఏం తెలియదు, బట్టి డంబాసారం అడ్డగోలు మాటలు తప్ప విషయం తెలియదు. ఏ నది ఎక్కడుందో, దాని కథ ఏందో, ఏ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎక్కడుందో.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Shall I make you presenter, sir?
Yes.
How many shows we have to make to sensitize people, to make government to act? How many shows? Who is responsible and who is becoming irresponsible? Citizens, tax-paying citizens, or the government, concerned departments and the officials? Sir, please.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
వచ్చిందా స్క్రీన్ పైన?
Vachin, sir.
Right. I'll go very quickly. Thank you so much, Dr. Shivrasad Reddy garu. And as part of our series, we actually planned for taking each issue of the urban lake before the public. But the recent High Court verdict boosted our morale, and we thought we will come out with a comprehensive picture of the urban lakes and again continue with each issue of the urban lake and what acts and regulations provides provision to protect them. Let us look into urban lakes, which are the most abused resources in this country. We never worried about looking into urban flooding or any other things. People used to ask me some 30, 35 years back that, hey, what is the role of the lake? Now we are not doing irrigation, now we are not taking drinking water. Then what is the role of it? Let us see. In spite of even 30, 35 years back, this country has good literacy among the science and technology and engineering, and also in the other faculties, disciplines. But still, a commoner in urban area was questioning the very presence of a lake. He wants water, but he does not want a lake. See there. The struggle to protect urban lakes continues. It all started in 1990, uh, where we brought out a citizens report on environment and specific issues of Hussain Sagar Lake and other lakes where the bus stands and sports stadia were constructed. So in 1995, Professor K.L. Vyas, who is an eminent Hindi professor and a well-known writer, you know, he filed a case along with late Professor Razurkar and Professor K. Purushottam Reddy in 1995. When he approached the court asked, why did you approach court? He said, I want the list of the lakes. The court said, list of the lakes, you should have gone to the department. And my friend is a strong follower of Gandhi. He writes postcards to every department. So he showed all that evidences. How he is struggling to get the list of lakes of Hyderabad. Then in 1996, the verdict came to submit the list of the lakes. It's a journey, almost 33 years. Okay? And today, in 2008, my friend Thakur Rajkumar Singh, who was former convener of the Save Our Urban Lakes and a secretary for HRCPC Foundation, Human Rights Foundation. So he filed, and see the very interesting point to note. Then the judge gave direction to HUDA, Hyderabad Urban Development, to submit list of lakes in 1996. Now HMDA is directed to submit list of notified lakes along with buffer zones. That means in spite of 33 years with so many governments coming and going, we have not come out with list of notified lakes. What is all these notified lakes and why people like Thakur Rajkumar Singh still fighting to get the information out? Let us look into it. We are This is the verdict of 1995 actually. So K.L. Vyas, you can see his name. Sorry, it is a Kodarkar, and who filed, and Purushottam Reddy, and their advocate is G. Prabhakar Reddy in those days. So they filed a PIL on the conserving, taking the issue to the High Court to conserve 170 lakes of Hyderabad. This is there. So the order copy number is 21676 of 1995. Let us look into it. What is that the order says? You just look into it. Responded to the product. All lakes of 170 listed in the Annexure 13 of the Master Plan 2011 from illegal encroachments, siltation, pollution, and lake. Further, all steps for convertees the catchment area as a recreation. That means the buffer zones, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, this verdict, you know, is not so much different what we received on 2023. We should thank the present Chief Justice who took a proactive decision to take the case. In spite of 33 years, we are still struggling. Why should we pay salaries to these employees? Why should we pay the pensions to these employees? This is a big challenge when they are not working. You look at 2023, court directs HMDA to survey all lakes, submit report within 2 weeks. Where are we? In 1995, court gave the same verdict, almost. It sang that the present Chief Justice took a proactive step and he could realize the damage happening to the state, and it is the Ramanakunta Lake. In 95 it was Ramantapur Lake. So from east of Hyderabad we moved to west of Hyderabad in damaging the lakes. And the present verdict also emphasizes what is the lake protection committee are doing, what is their performing duties, which time and again all the members concerned with lake protection and conservation we are, we are questioning it. We once again thank the Chief Justice Alok Arde and Justice T. Vinod Kumar Garu for taking up this bill and reviving the hopes of Hyderabad citizens to protect and conserve the lakes, make once again the city of lakes and gardens. Thank you so much. You see, we have 180 lakes. In and around more than 4,000 lakes. This is the lake of Shamshabad, Kamani Cheru. This is the pump house and the filter bed you have. This lake used to be the drinking water source for Shamshabad village, and today it is abandoned. And the villagers or the habitants are given a false promise that they will get water either from Krishna or Godavari. So why should we, neglect the local resources? All the global meetings say, act locally, think globally. We do all illegal acts at the local level, talk all great things at the global. That is the problem. Okay, this lake is on the way to the international airport. Any time this lake may burst out. It is sandwiched between the railway track and a national highway. And you see, HMDA puts up a board, show your passion, make your contribution, help HMDA to protect Hussain Sagar. You see, all this eutrophication, it is from the Necklace Road. 10 acres of the lake was physically filled with borrowed soils and debris by HMDA, allowed the eutrophication last 10 years, and now it claims it is coming out with a children park in the middle of toxic Hussain Sagar Lake. Can we allow this? People have to think of it. You see, wherever HMDA went, this is the board put up at Ministerial Road, and this is the extension of the Hussain Sagar Lake in those days. And the board says the land belongs to HUDA in those days. You see, where is the land here? The HMDA and HUDA, they always look for a land under the water. They reclaim the land through. When state itself is doing all these illegal activities, in spite of the regulation and acts issued and by the state government itself, and also from the central government, where do the people go? And you know they have to tap only the legal system. Thank God, once again we see a renewed hope in protecting these lakes. And everywhere, last 9 years, everywhere, the land grabbers, with pride, and they say this land belongs to, this is the, such boats you find in every lake, and this is the boat, and whatever is available, even on the rocks you find, and they also have guts to give the telephone numbers to contact. So where is the system? Where is the law and order? Where is the revenue department? This is Huda itself laid a road bifurcating Lake Aminpur, Birds Paradise Lost. Somebody claims this land belongs to him because Huda has approved. And what Huda is to do, or what HMDA has to do, what is their role, God only knows. Then why should a common man get victimized? Is this not a process of abusing the natural resources in the urban areas? If you do not know the role of a lake in the urban areas, go to the universities. You people travel all around. You go to Singapore, you go to New York, you go to New Jersey, you go everywhere. The policy makers and the senior principal secretaries. Then what is that you are doing there? Doing some shopping and coming? You see, encroachments, construction, loss of retention capacity, flash floods, loss of lake ecosystem, loss of scope for groundwater recharging, suspended particulate matter siltation, loss of water retention, flash floods. Okay, today the basic reason is we have lost more than 60% of water retention in our 180 lakes, and probably 45% in our 4,000 lakes in the HMDA zone. You see, the Usman Nagar, which mushroomed the lake, 2020, still the water is there. This is the 2020 flood waters, not receded even in 2022. And my honorable minister says we will not see the 2020 repeats. Sir, for your kind information, 2020 situation is standstill. You need not give a statement that it will not repeat. It is there on the ground. So please ask your officers to open up eyes, give some exercise to the lakes, go around the city and submit a white paper. Now, is this all that our generation, next generation is viewing all these abused lakes, water bodies, and they are not able to understand it. They are getting totally confused whenever some of the youngsters travel across the world. But today, is this the same situation earlier? This is the Secunderabad Hussain Saga. Every lake is with a wetland area. Indira Park is a great wetland area actually. ఇక్కడ మొగిలిపూల చెట్లు చాలా ఉండేవి ఆ కాలంలో. This picture is taken from James Street, railway station. Courtesy my friend late Prabhas Chand Jain, grandson of Raja Deen Dayal. So you see, the city was well planned, everything was well planned. Okay, if population increases, we had a lot of horizontal space. Then why we created so much of chaos in the city development? We never planned. We only allowed a growth which ultimately took a shape of a obesity. You see, this is the picture of Hyderabad in 1984. So many lakes, so many Usman Sagar, Himayat Sagar, Hussain Sagar, zoo, Miralam Tank. Okay, so many lakes and other things. All this all the red patch, this was all the green patch. And it was this is the last time that the state government did some studies on the land use patterns. And look at it, the fluvial floods that happen because of the overflows from Usman Sagar, Himayat Sagar, which joins the Musi and then flows into the Musi. And it is restricted to the either banks of the Musi only. But today, the Hyderabad is largely flooded with pluvial flooding. That is because of unplanned, unregulated, rapid, haphazard urban planning. We have more than 100 lakes in GHMC area. All the 180 lakes zones are flooded. We could bring a river flooding system to landlocked areas, and we are successful in making the floods in Hyderabad a decentralized system. What is the problem with understanding the things? Why we are not able to come out, understand properly, and restore back Hyderabad? Let us look into it. You see, perception story of a blind man describing the elephant. It all started in late 90s. That beautification of the lakes, ring burn, you know, all that kind of a thing. One fellow says ring burn, one fellow says surplus water budgeting. Some fellow says you put up STPs. Huh? There is no comprehensive thinking on lakes and how we integrate the lake restoration in urban planning and development. You see. And people used to laugh at me when I was talking about the urban watersheds. And everybody thinks, watershed is the business of rural development ministry, and it is nothing to do with. But the watersheds in the urban area, each lake has its watershed, each lake has its own basin and sub basin, and you have a big mega basin at the higher level. You have a diversified development, growth in a urban watershed area. The challenge is, how do you control the pollution coming into it? How do we stop the encroachment? First thing is the encroachment. If we can stop the encroachment, clear the encroachment, yes, we can definitely tackle the pollution part of it. Urban lakes restoration and management calls for multidisciplinary approach. It is not the single domain of the so-called engineers and the bureaucrats or the landscape designer architects. It is not. You have to have a multidisciplinary team and a team leader who understand the multidisciplinary integration approach to restore the lakes in urban areas. Okay, you just see, this is the watershed area of Krishna Reddy Pet from Bularam industrial area, about 14 major lakes and all. And when this was the situation when there was no prior to the industrial area development. You see, once the industrial area development, 2004, I did the survey. You have fully contaminated lakes, you have partially contaminated lakes, and surprisingly, you have and I say pollution-free lakes also in the same watershed. And I thank Mr. Premchandra Reddy, then Collector Medak District, who took a proactive initiative in restoring these unpolluted water bodies, uh, 2004 and 2005. So we need to understand, what is the urban watershed and how the hydrological, hydraulic dynamics changes, and this is beyond the scope of. I'm sorry to say to the minor irrigation department people, because I do not blame them. They are trained, they are educated and trained in a discipline where to impound the water, supply the water for an irrigation purpose, and they are unnecessarily victimized in forcing them to handle urban hydraulics. Then what happened to the wisdom of the great people like chief secretaries, principal secretaries, advisors, and other policymakers who claim they have seen the entire world? Huh? Don't you think that we need a separate, dedicated department for urban hydrology and hydraulics? First and the foremost thing is we should understand, recognize, realize the importance of natural functions of a lake in an urban area. As my friend said, yes, regulates the local climate. They are very important natural systems today to control the local temperatures, environment conditions. Controls flood intensity, regulates flood waters. This is very important. But we are not allowing the waters to go into. We have delinked all the flood control channels from one lake to the other. Is there? I suggest the government to go for a white paper on this and submit a report to the public and recharges the groundwater. You see, whatever we talk of Godavari water, Krishna water, even today, I challenge 45% of the water consumption in the Twin Cities, around the Twin Cities, agglomeration is 45%, and it is more in HMDA zone. It keeps surrounding school. Yes, why do you go to the lake area? Nesting and breeding ground for birds, supports aquatic life, supports livelihood. Yes, fisherman community, washerman community, attracts the migratory birds. It becomes a Aminpur Lake is a classic example, and the government recognized it and also awarded biodiversity heritage site, and it is one of its kind in the no, it is the only recognized biodiversity heritage lake, but we have successfully killed it. So let us look into it. What are the lake and why we are talking of. We keep on talking about the buffer zone first, catchments, buffer zones. They are all related to the lake. And next comes the foreshore area, Shikam area, and then the main lake bed. After that, Bund, and the wetland zone. Let us look into it. Buffer zone, yes, we already covered this. It is the free space between two individuals or two groups or two communities or two different diversified development zones. So you need to have a buffer zone around the lake. Okay, we violated it, and GO number 168 clearly gives the importance of buffer zone and all. You see, it is a water buffer zone crop fields. Okay, very clear. The riparian zones, outer, middle, stream side, and stream at the stream level. So buffer zones, we discussed quite a lot. Now I talk about the salient part. Buffer zone, littoral zone. Littoral zone, yes. Littoral zone is the zone where during the monsoon the high water level comes, and during that is usually by Dashera period the water level goes down. This is the area where you see backward forward movement of the water body, and generally this is the spot where you find the FTL, full tank level, what we call it. Like this is the drawing, this is the lake, this is the littoral zone, this is the buffer zone, and from there we go to the bund, and from bund the bund slope, toe region. Even the toe region, I think half a acre from the toe of the region, this is all government land. But I see all kinds of commercial complexes buildings coming up in the tow region itself in this, and that is happening so rapidly during the last 9 years. Even in Lakadaram, Patancheru, they have given a underground mining 50 feet from the tow region of a medium irrigation structure. You see how how we are um, almost looting the banks. Bund zone and the wetlands. These are all some of the wetlands where. So the major parts of a lake, if you are buying a property, ask, is it part of the buffer zone? Is it part of the littoral zone? Is it part of the main lake? Or is it part of a wetland? You have to ask this. That is most important. This is liminotic zone, open water area. This littoral zone is most important. Water comes up to a top level and withdraws. This is the zone where you find this has the highest ecological activity, and most of the amphibians they come here. They lay their eggs for hatching in this particular area, and most of the birds they also feed in this littoral zone. You find most of this typical littoral zone area is the wetlands I'm talking about. Okay, this is a lake, Amirpur Lake. Between Amirpur Lake and the Bandam, this is all the wetland, Amirpur Lake wetlands. More 42% of the wetlands have been buried in this country, and we did not bother about this. We come out specifically on importance of the wetlands. Wetlands are the major source for absorption of carbon, recharging of groundwater. So, are we teaching this in the schools? We are talking all nonsense in the schools. And there are several cases pending: High Court, Supreme Court, NGT on buffer zones, Shikampatta zones, everything. Okay. Now you see this littoral zone, what we are talking about it, is the major controversy in Telangana. This zone is called Shikam zone, Shikampatta. And Shikampatta is a temporary permission to raise one crop, harvest, and get benefit because it was a semi arid drought area. And after harvesting, he has to clean this area so that the inflow waters will not get obstacles. This is well written in the Farmana, in the Act, which was adopted by the combined state. Still, it continues, but HUDA, HMDA, and then Revenue Department, it converts this land into agricultural land. Who gives the permission to change the ecological functions of a land? This land was given to the poor people. Okay, but not for constructing, skyscrapers and making billions of money. People have to question this because of conversion of this Shikam area. Today, Hyderabad is getting submerged. There are some community initiatives. If we can work out well with the so this is the Bohra community, which designed a country boat and cleared all the water hyacinth somewhere in 2014. And this is the Bangalore Lake Initiative. These are two gentlemen who are retired people, Sarguja Lake actually. They take care of it. They come and open the gates for the community members to come and go for a walking or some activity. So buffer zones, I already told you. Seriously, no attempt has been made neither by central and state authorities, including academic, research, and training institutions in the country. The conflict continues, and urban lakes falling prey to rapid and unregulated urbanization. How long? From KL Vyas to many people in between. To Thakur Rajkumar Singh, it is almost 33 years. Where are we heading? Please wake up. My humble advice to all the Hyderabad citizens, urbanites, wake up from the Kumbhakarna sleep. It's time for you to act. If you do not act, if you do not question, if you do not understand, if you do not learn, if you do not educate, if you do not sensitize, you and coming generations are threatened by polluted urban floods. Please understand, wake up. Go to your corporator, ask him. Go to your MLA, question him. It is time for you not to sleep and enjoy the evening. You see, this is 168 geo. I'm just giving one or two. I can't give, but I have to come out with another uh, presentation on. You see, no building development activity shall be allowed in the bed of the water bodies. Okay, lake, pond, cheru, kunta. I can show you 100 photographs, 100 slides. Unless otherwise stated, the area, full tank level, kunta, shall be reckoned as measured by the certified irrigation department and revenue department. You see, out of the 4,000 lakes in and around Hyderabad, only 42 lakes have been notified by the revenue department. And this is a GO of 2012. 11 years they have not completed. Even for our benefit, the erstwhile rulers, they published memoirs. So what happened to those memoirs? The chief engineer is responsible and accountable to preserve those memoirs of each lake. We will also come out with the memoirs of each lake. And memoirs, basically. The above water bodies courses shall be maintained as recreation green buffer zone. No building activity shall be carried out within 100 meters from the boundary of river, okay, and 30 meters from FTL of boundary of the lakes. Are we following it? Is your building 30 meters away from the lake? How many people know about it? Now let's see. Certified by the irrigation department and revenue department. These two departments are the most corrupt departments, not only in this state but in the country. 30 meters from FTL, Kunta areas 10 hectares above. 9 meters FTL, you have buffer zone, how much you have to create it. But what is missing here is they should have also been considered the biodiversity of the lake value. So master plan, development plan. Is there any buffer zone marked in the master plans? 2021, Sangareddy, I have not come across this. In case of protection of catchment areas, you have all that. But merely government declares we have taken out the GO 111, but not issued a official notification, but constructions are going on. So this is the act. Please remember, my friends, my citizens of Hyderabad, you have to note this. Okay? Telangana Biological Diversity Act. Okay? Volta Act, Wetlands Act, you name it, we have everything. మార్కెట్లో అన్ని ఉన్నాయి, అల్లు నోట్లో శని ఉంది. దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. ల్యాండ్ ఎంక్రోచ్మెంట్ యాక్ట్, ఎంక్రోచ్మెంట్స్ని ఎట్లా తీసేయాలా అన్నది కూడా ఉంది. ఓకే, ఫైనల్లీ వాట్ ఐ థాట్, myself and my friends, Tapu, Shivaprasad Reddy garu, our elderly man, Professor Purushottam Reddy garu, we we are going to the people. We will try to sensitize them. It is up to them. Okay? We did our bit. In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand. We will understand only what we are taught. So, taking this clue, we are reaching out to the different sections of the society, right from schooling to senior citizens and non-governmental to government, corporate sector. Please come forward, look into the acts. Within the acts, how we can make our city a rain ready, our city of lakes and gardens, and pass on this heritage once again to younger and coming generations, a livable and sustainable cities. You know, SDG 11 speaks of sustainable cities, and then you have water under life under the water, life above the water, climate change, and then poverty, employment, partnerships. It is time to explore the possibilities of creating partnerships to protect, save, conserve, and make our cities a livable city. Thank you so much, Dr. Shivprasad Reddy Garu. And I also thank Dr. K.L. Vyas and my friend Thakur Rajkumar Singh for extending their inputs in this particular episode. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It is now or never, as every time we tell. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shivprasad Garu.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I think you have not given me any chance to even to sum it up, because the show in itself, in essence, as you rightly said, we are trying to give the information, as you rightly said, now or never. Only what you are taught, you will understand. What you understand, you will conserve. So, a beautiful show with proper information being taught by none other than Subba Garu to all citizens, concerned citizens, to convert them into that consent into responsibility, so that they themselves will come forward, start questioning right from corporator to the MLA to the MP, or panchayat member, sarpanch, to the MP in rural areas and in urban areas. Only then we can be able to save, protect, and conserve our wonderful resources here, the lakes, nalas, and similarly the rivers, FTLs in villages. If you don't, you are gone once for all. ఇంత చక్కగా ఆధారాలతో సుబ్బారావు గారు ఎంత సమాచారం ఇచ్చారంటే, గొలుసుకట్టు చెరువులు ఆ రోజు విశ్వేశ్వరయ్య గారు ఎందుకు మన హైదరాబాద్ గురించి చుట్టుపక్క హిమాయత్ సాగర్ మన ఉస్మాన్ సాగర్, గండిపేట్, దాంతోపాటు గొలుసుకట్టు చెరువులు, నాలాలు అవన్నీ కలుసుకుంటూ వచ్చి మన వికారాబాద్లో మొదలయ్యేటువంటి మన మూసీలో కలిసి అవన్నీ ముద్దుగా కృష్ణానదిలో కలుస్తాయో, ఆ రోజు వచ్చిన వరదల నుంచి మనను రక్షించడానికి అవి ఉన్నాయి. కానీ ఈరోజు వాటినన్నిటిని మాయం చేస్తూ ఇవన్నీ కూడా కబ్జాకు గురైతూ వాటిని కూడా అక్రమార్కులు చేస్తూ ఉంటే వరదలు రాక ఏమవుతుంది? ప్రభుత్వమా? వరదలు రావా? 4 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి ఇదే దుస్థితి, ఇదే పరిస్థితి, ఇంకెంతకాలం? దానివల్లనే ఇవన్నీ అని చెప్పి దీన్ని ఏ విధంగా మనము చట్టాలు ఉన్నాయి. 1996లో కూడా ఆ రోజు మా గురువు గారు పురుషోత్తం రెడ్డి గారు, వ్యాస్ గారితో పాటు ఇంకొక సంబంధిత పెద్ద వ్యక్తులు వారు ఆ రోజు హైకోర్టును ఆశ్రయించారు. మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు 2023 నిన్న 28 జూలై మళ్ళీ ఆ రోజు ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ హైకోర్టు, ఈరోజు తెలంగాణ హైకోర్టు అదే అదే విధమైనటువంటి ఒక విచారణ జరిపిన తర్వాత వారు ఖచ్చితంగా మన ఈ నీటి కొలువులు అంటే ఈ చెరువులు ఆ రోజు ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి, వాటి పరిస్థితి ఏంది, దాన్ని సంరక్షించాలా అని 96లో చెప్పినటువంటి మాట మళ్ళీ ఈసారి 2 వారాలు ఆ రోజు హుడా హైదరాబాద్ అర్బన్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అథారిటీ, ఈసారి హైదరాబాద్ మెట్రో డెవలప్మెంట్ అథారిటీ వారికి ఇప్పుడున్న తెలంగాణ హైకోర్టు 2 వారాల్లో మీరు ఎన్నిటిని నోటిఫై చేశారు? ఆ రోజేమో సంరక్షించి ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి చెప్పండి అని చెప్పింది 96 ఆర్డర్. 96 నుంచి 2023 వరకు అన్ని కబ్జాలే. మీరే చూసుకోండి మీ చుట్టుపక్కల ఆ రోజు ఉన్నటువంటి గొలుసుకట్టు చెరువులు, నాలాలు పరిస్థితి ఏంది, ఈ రోజు ఉన్నటువంటి పరిస్థితి ఏంది? దీనికి ఎవరు బాధ్యులు? అధికారులు కాదా? ఆ రోజు అధికారంలో ఉన్నటువంటి పార్టీలో ఉన్నటువంటి పాలకులు కాదా? మర్చిపోయి నిద్ర మబ్బులో ఉన్నటువంటి మనం కాదా? మనం లేనిపోని ఆశలు కలిగించి వాడు మన పక్కనే వచ్చి మన చెరువును వాడు నాశనం చేసి, మన నాలాను విధ్వంసం చేసి తక్కువకు తీసుకోండి వాడు అమ్మిపోతే మనకు ఆలోచన లేదా? అర్థం కాదా? బాధ్యత లేదా? నాకేందని కూర్చుంటే ఈరోజు వరదలు వస్తా ఉన్నాయి గత 4 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి. ఆ వరదలు వర్తమానాన్ని మనకున్న ఇప్పటిని నాశనం చేస్తూ మన పిల్లలకు ఏమి భవిష్యత్తు లేకుండా చేస్తుంటే ఇంకా నిద్ర నుంచి మేలుకోరా? అందుగురించి ఈరోజు ఈ షో ద్వారా మిమ్మల్ని మేలుకొనిపే విధంగా సమాచారాన్ని అందించాం. నిన్న హైకోర్టు చీఫ్ జస్టిస్, ఆ జస్టిస్ వారికి నిజంగా హ్యాట్స్ ఆఫ్. అదేవిధంగా ఎంతో మంది సంరక్షించడానికి ముందుకొచ్చే పౌరులు వారికి నమస్తం, శటకోటి వందనాలు. వారికి కూడా ఇంకా మనం నిద్ర మేలుకోకపోతే పాలకులు, వారికి తొత్తుగా మారిన అధికారులు, వారితో కలిసి పనిచేసేటువంటి రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ వ్యాపారులు, ఎందుకంటే వారి దగ్గర నుంచి బిల్డర్లు డబ్బులు వీళ్ళు ఎన్నికల్లో ఇచ్చి ఆ డబ్బులనే ఇచ్చి మళ్ళా మన ఓట్లు కొంటూ ఉంటే మనం ఏ విధంగా మనం సంరక్షించుకుంటాం? మన సంపద, ఈ గొప్ప సంపద, మనం బ్రతకడానికి, జీవించడానికి కావలసినటువంటి ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి సంపద, అది ఆపదలో ఉంటే ఆ వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చినటువంటి డబ్బులతో మనం ఓట్లు వేసి మన పరిస్థితి వరదలో కొట్టుకుపోయేటువంటి పరిస్థితి తెచ్చుకున్నామే, ఇంకా మేలుకొనమా? తాలాబ్ గయబ్, नाला गयब. 1996 में हाई कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दिया था, तब हुडा हैदराबाद अर्बन डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी. फिर कल 223 में जुलाई 28 को फिर तेलंगाना हाई कोर्ट ने एक ऑर्डर दिया. क्या हुआ आपका तालाब, किधर गया आपके नाला? इस बार हैदराबाद मेट्रो डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी, सब कुछ नाले गायब, तालाब गायब, इसीलिए भारी बाढ़ आ रहा और हमारा जीवन किस तरह हम बिता रहे, क्यों नहीं सोचते हम? क्योंकि हमारी गलती है ये. इसकी वजह से कौम को किस तरह गुमराह किया जा रहा अधिकारियों द्वारा. तब हैदराबाद अर्बन डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी, आज हैदराबाद मेट्रो डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी, उनको शासित करने वाले हमारे पालक आज बीआरएस होगा, उस टाइम में टीडीपी होगा, उस टाइम में कांग्रेस होगा, उनको सपोर्ट करने वाले उस टाइम में बीजेपी था, उस टाइम में कम्युनिस्ट पार्टीज थे. लेकिन हमारी हाल इन सब के बीच में ऑल इंडिया मजलिस इत्तेहादुल मुस्लिमान तब था ये सब करने के लिए, क्योंकि ओल्ड सिटी की भी जब बात आती, लेकिन ऑल इंडिया मजलिस इत्तेहादुल मुस्लिमान आज हमारे शासन सभा में वो एक प्रतिपक्ष पार्टी है, और जीएचएमसी ग्रेटर हैदराबाद म्युनिसिपालिटी में भी प्रतिपक्ष पार्टी है. वो इतने कारपोरेटर से क्यों ये लोग हमारे तालाब नाला गायब होने की जो साजिश हो रही है उसमें ये लोग क्यों शामिल हो रहे हैं और उनको क्यों बचा नहीं पा रहे हैं ये लोग? क्योंकि ये रियल्टर्स हो, बिल्डर्स हो, उनसे पैसे मिलता, वही पैसे से ये लोग चुनाव लड़ते हैं, वो चुनाव में वही पैसे हमको लालूची देने पर तुलते हैं. क्योंकि हम बिक रहे हैं या हम समझदार नहीं है, या हम ये क्या मेरे को क्या, लेकिन मेरे को क्या यही सोचते हुए आज हमारी आज गई और कल हमारे बच्चों के लिए क्या दोगे आप? इसीलिए 4 साल से भाड़ी बाढ़ हमारी जिंदगी बदतर हो गई है. अभी भी आप जानकार नहीं होगे, जागोगे नहीं आप. और हम कितने शो करना आपको जगाने के लिए, क्योंकि आर्टिकल 51 वो यही बताता कि हम नागरिक, हम चौकन्नी होना, उस जैसे ही चौकन्नी होते, जैसे हमको सही समाचार आता, हमको जिम्मेदार बनना है, वरना आज खत्म, कल कुछ नहीं बचेगा. आप सोचिए. इसलिए ऐसे अतिथिगण समाचार के साथ, आधार के साथ, इतना वो लोग कष्ट करके ये शो पे आते हैं, DRTSPR चैनल्स हो, सिटीजन्स DRTSPR चैनल्स हो, या एनवायरमेंट पीपल DRTSPR चैनल्स हो, क्योंकि आपको सही समाचार देना चाहते हैं ताकि आप जाग जाओ, जिम्मेदार हो, और तालाब, नाला, हर चीज का आप इसका रक्षण करें, वरना कुछ नहीं बचेगा, भाड़ी बाढ़, और ये सब लोग चले जाएंगे। हम कानूनी के दौर पर, कानून यही कहता है कि आप जिम्मेदार क्यों नहीं बने? इतने सालों साल ये सब खत्म हो जा रहे हैं, आपके नाले, आपके तालाब, आप क्यों जिम्मेदार नहीं हुए? यही प्रश्न कानून हमसे कहेगा, हमसे पूछेगा, तब हम क्या जवाब दोगे? इसीलिए जाग जाओ, जानकार हो जाओ। इसके वजह से ही हम DRTSPR चैनल निरंतर शो के, हर एक शो एक सीरीज में कर रहे हैं। जिस तरह शहर डूब रहा है, हैदराबाद शहर क्यों डूब रहा है, जिम्मेदार कौन है, आधार के साथ आपको फिर और एक बार दिया है इस शो के द्वारा, ताकि आप जाग जाओ. ఇప్పటికైనా పౌరులారా, మేల్కొనండి. ఎందుకు భాగ్యనగరం హైదరాబాద్ ముంపుకు గురవుతుంది, వరదలకు ఎందుకు లోనవుతా ఉన్నాం గత 4 సంవత్సరాలుగా? ఇంకా మీరు నిద్ర మేలుకోకపోతే ఉన్న చెరువులు మాయం, నాలాలు మాయం, ఎక్కడ చూసిన నీళ్లు, మన స్థితి అధోగతి, వర్తమానం, ఏమి లేనటువంటి భవిష్యత్తు మన పిల్లలకు, అంధకారమైనటువంటి భవిష్యత్తు మన పిల్లలకి ఇద్దామా? వేకప్. ఇఫ్ నాట్ now, it will be never, until and unless we restore all the water bodies, all the lake culture, that 1908 beautiful lake culture. We should have been adding more and more lakes, but instead we are destroying the water culture of built in 1908 in and around Hyderabad to protect us from floods. Himayat Sagar, Usman Sagar, they are to protect us from floods. Only after that it is for drinking purpose. But 111 GO is a dangerous tool which they are trying to destroy. That is why wake up to restore all the lakes. Even the High Court yesterday, we are thankful to them. They very clearly told HMDA, Hyderabad Metro Development Authority, in 2 weeks time they have to provide all the necessary information, as was done by Andhra Pradesh High Court in 1996 to 2023. And even after attaining Telangana, what is our position in regards to lakes and nalas? If not today, it will be never. Your passing comment, sir.
Yeah, mostly why we are coming out with series of it with support of evidential proofs, records, documents. I see still many people, they are under the some kind of a brainwash that everything is happening because of climate change, so we cannot do anything and all. ఇదంతా బుల్షిట్. వర్షాలు పడతాయి, తక్కువ పడతాయి, ఎక్కువ పడతాయి, ఎట్లన్నా పడతాయి. మరి మనం చదువుకున్న చదువులు, సైన్సు, టెక్నాలజీ, మన బుద్ధి, మన యాజమాన్యం ఏది యాడికి పోయినాయి? మనం ఇంత చదువుకొని, ఇంత ప్లానింగ్, ఎన్ని ప్రపంచాలు తిరిగి వస్తున్నప్పుడు పడ్డ వర్షాన్ని ఎలా యాజమాన్యం చేసుకోవాలి అన్నది మనం నేర్చుకోకపోతే ఇంకా వేస్ట్. కనుక ఇలాంటి వాటిల్లో మీకు అవకాశం వస్తే, అలా క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్ మీద చెప్పే స్వాముల వాళ్ళు చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు మనకి ఈ నగరంలో, ఈ రాష్ట్రంలో. వాళ్ళు చెప్తున్నప్పుడు మీరు అడగండి వాళ్ళని. మరి మనకి ఈ చదువు ఎందుకు సార్ అని అడగండి. అందుకేనేమో యూనివర్సిటీ UGC గ్రాంట్ లీడ్ బంద్ చేసింది. ఇక చదువుకున్నారు, మనం ఎందుకు పనికిరాము, గ్రాంట్ బంద్ చేస్తే యూనివర్సిటీ బంద్ అవుతుంది, మళ్ళీ అందరూ గొడ్లు కాసుకుంటారు, అప్పుడు అంతా బాగుంటారు. ఆలోచన చేయండి, కళ్ళు తెరవండి, శాస్త్రీయ దృక్పథాన్ని జీవితంలో అమలుపరుచుకోండి. అప్పుడే మనము మన రాబోయే తరాలకి మనము ఒక సుస్థిరమైన అభివృద్ధిని ఇవ్వగలుగుతాం. కనుక ప్లీజ్ వేకప్. నిద్రపోవడం బంద్ చేయండి. యాక్ట్ నౌ. థింక్, యాక్ట్, డిస్కస్, డిబేట్. తర్కశాస్త్రంతో ఈ దేశం ముందుకు నడిచింది. ఇప్పుడు ప్రశ్నిస్తేనే తప్పు అనుకునేటప్పుడు దట్ ఈస్ ద డెత్ ఆఫ్ డెమోక్రసీ, డెత్ ఆఫ్ ద సొసైటీ. ప్లీజ్ వేకప్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. ఇంకా మీకు
Wonderful.
వేకప్ కాల్స్ పాటలైతే మేము పాడలేం రోజు. లేవురా నాయనా లేవురా నాయనా ఇవే చెప్పగలుగుతాం మేము. కనుక
లేవండ్రా
ప్లీజ్
నాయన, లేవండ్రా
లేవండ్రి
నాయన,
నాయన అంత
లేవండి,
కవిత్వం
లేవండి.
మాకు రాదు. మాకు రాదు.
జాగ్ జాओ, జాన్కార్ हो जाओ, జాగ్ జాओ. లేవండ్రి నాయన, సమాచారం తెలుసుకోండి, మీ బాధ్యతలను ఎరగండి, కాపాడండి చెరువులను, నాలాలను. బచాओ तालाब और नाला को. It is time to restore all our lakes and nalas. If not now, it can be never. It can be never. Take it for granted. Already we are losing so many lakes, nalas, and these fellows will run away from here if you don't wake up. You have to survive here. Tomorrow your kith and kin have to survive here. As you rightly said, climate change happens. Why? Because water is not stored. Only when you store water, that climatic changes can be controlled. The rain patterns can happen in a proper way. How many shows we have to do? If you are letting water out, where will it go? Water and elephant will never forget its way. Keep that in your mind. That is the reason why you wake up. If not now, never. Thank you very much, sir. Do support DRTSPR channels, Citizen DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. They are all in larger public interest. We are ready to host anyone who have different opinion about the shows what we are doing. We welcome you wholeheartedly, provided you come with rule of law, constitution, invoking evidential act. Because we have no enmity against individuals, nor animosity against any parties or organizations. Similarly, you have to approach us. Kindly come. We are here to discuss, debate. You may differ. That is the beauty of democracy. But prove us wrong. That is why we say we have been using demand and challenging the existing governance. We are challenging them. We are demanding them to act and prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. We are ready to welcome anyone who loves to participate on DRTSPR channels, because they did not beg anyone. I did not send you a camera. You did not come to my studio. From wherever you are, we will connect. That is the guarantee we give, because we always believed in Article 19, freedom of expression, and in doing so, to uphold the principles of people participatory constitutional democracy. ప్రజాస్వామ్యం వర్ధిల్లాలి. అందుగురించే చాలా స్పష్టంగా ఉన్నాం మేము. సేవ్ డెమోక్రసీ. ప్రజాస్వామ్యాన్ని కాపాడండి, చెరువులను, నాలాలను రక్షించండి పక్షకుల నుండి. आप हमारे संविधान जिस तरह चलता है, लोकतंत्र को बचाइए, तालाब और हमारे नाले को सुरक्षित रखिए. दिस इज द ओनली एम. आप कोई भी आ सकते हैं, हमारे से चर्चा कर सकते हैं, आप आमंत्रित कर रहे हैं हम, परंतु वो कानूनी दौर पर होना चाहिए, संविधान के मार्ग पर और आधार के साथ होना चाहिए. बस यही आप रख लीजिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. टेक केयर. Keep coming to you in series, because it is very simply clearly stated. You will conserve only what you love, and you will love what only you will only love what you understand, and you will only understand what you are taught. So these channels take it in those series as teachings from wonderful people. You have every right to differ from us. We invite you, but save lakes, save nalas, save water bodies, buffer zones, catchment areas. If not now, it will never happen. Thank you, sir.